through chapters 6 through 10. So as we get ready to take our exams, I'm going to ask these lovely people to pass these out. Thank you, man. I might give you a little more. And so while they're passing those out, hopefully everybody read. Pastor told me about this last week, so I couldn't help, but I had to read. Yes. Oh, yes, sir. Dismissing the teen Bible study and the children's Bible study. But yeah, I was, I said, Lord, I started reading and I seen all them numbers and cubics, and I said, oh man, I don't know what this test gonna be about. But I ain't got to take it. Praise be to God. Look at, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I said, man, boy, that's a lot of numbers. I don't know what he going to pull from out of this one. But I think we're going to be all right. Pastor always say, if you read, you're a winner. So we already, for all of those who read, you guys are already winners. So just keep that in mind as you take this exam. Thank you, ma'am. All right, does everybody have a test? Everybody that want to have a test, have a test. All right, like I said before, last week, our read was 1 Kings chapter 6 through 10. Chapter 6 through 10. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Our first question. The stones for the house were made ready before they were brought there, so that the sound of a hammer nor axe were heard inside the building. Once again, the stones for the house were made ready before they were brought there, so that the sound of a hammer nor axe were heard inside the building. Number 2, it took Solomon 11 years to build the temple. It took Solomon 11 years to build the temple. Number 3, Solomon built a house for Pharaoh's daughter who had become his wife. Solomon built a house for Pharaoh's daughter who had become his wife. Number 4, the things that David had dedicated for the house of the Lord was not used because of his sin toward God. The things that David had dedicated for the house of the Lord was not used because of his sin toward God. Number 5, the Ark of the Covenant was placed in the most holy place under the wings of the cherubim. The Ark of the Covenant was placed in the most high place under the wings of the cherubim, or cherubims. Cherubims. Number 6, the Lord separated Israel from among all the people of the earth to be his inheritance. The Lord separated Israel from among all the people of the earth to be his inheritance. Number 7, the Lord promised to cut off Israel out of the land that he had given if they failed to keep his commandments. The Lord promised to cut off Israel out of the land that he had given if they failed to keep his commandments. Number 8, Solomon began to make bondmen, which are slaves, of the children of Israel. Solomon began to make bondmen, or slaves, of the children of Israel. Number 9, the queen of Sheba came to test Solomon with hard questions. The queen of Sheba came to test Solomon with hard questions. And number 10, King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and wisdom. King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and wisdom. All right. Once you got that done, if you can exchange your test with somebody close to you. I think we, as a whole, with all of them cubics, I ain't see one question on there about some cubics, so. Ain't nobody had to do any measurements, so. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. All right. Everybody swapped, everybody good? Anybody think they got 100 already? That's how we're going to do it like that. How many people think y'all got 100? Hey, only one person? Seriously? Golly. Okay, well, that's what I'm talking about. Confidence. That's right, that's right, that's right. All right. All right, so number 1, the stones for the house were made ready before they were brought there, so that the sound of a hammer nor an axe were heard inside the building. True or false? True, that's right. That's coming out of chapter 6, verse 7. It says, the stones were used in construction of the temple, were finished at the quarry, so there was no sound of a hammer, axe, or any other iron tool at the building site. So a lot of times, I think they were saying it wasn't explained, but because it was a holy place, they didn't want all of that, noise, chatter or whatever. The definition of noise, by the way, because I looked it up a long time ago, is unwanted sound. So it was unwanted sound. They probably did not want in there. So what I like to listen to may not be what you like to listen to, so it may be called noise to you. So, so God may not want to hear all them hammering and chiseling and all of that. All right, so number 1 was true. Number 2, it took Solomon 11 years to build the temple. True or false? False. How many years did it take? 7. That's right. That's right. And that's coming out of chapter 6, verse 38. Yes, sir. Yep. It says, verse 38, the entire building was completed in every detail by mid-autumn in the month of Bul during the 11th year of his reign. So it took 7 years to build the temple. That's verse 38. Number 3, Solomon built a house for Pharaoh's daughter who had become his wife. True or false? True. So I look, everybody got 100. Everybody, I ain't hear nobody say nothing different. Awesome. Okay, we batting 1,000. I hope. All right, and that's coming out of verse 8 of chapter 7. It says, Solomon's living quarters surrounded a courtyard behind this hall, and they were constructed in the same way. He also built similar living quarters for Pharaoh's daughter, whom he had married. So that is true. Number 4, the things that David had dedicated for the house of the Lord was not used because of his sin toward God. True or false? False. That is true. That is correct. False. And that's coming out of chapter 7, verse 61. Verse 51. And it says, so King Solomon finished all his work on the temple of the Lord. Then he brought all the gifts his father David had dedicated, the silver, the gold, and the various articles, and he stored them in the treasures of the Lord's temple. All right, number 5. The Ark of the Covenant was placed in the most holy place under the wings of the cherubims. True or false? True. That's coming out of chapter 8, verse 6. Then the priest carried the Ark of the Lord's covenant into the inner sanctuary of the temple, the most holy place, and placed it beneath the wings of the cherubim. So that is true. We're at number 6. Number 6. The Lord separated Israel from among all the people of the earth to be his inheritance. True or false? True. All right. Man, ain't nobody got nothing wrong? Oh, y'all just all answering them. Okay. I know, right? Pastor gonna be like, I ain't gonna ever get back up here if everybody get 100. So I'm gonna need somebody to miss one. That's all I'm gonna say. Pastor gonna be like, something wrong. All right. All right. Number 7. The Lord promised to cut off Israel out of the land that he had given if they failed to keep his commandments. True or false? True. That's coming out of chapter, what is that? That is coming out of chapter 9, verses 6 and 7. I think we got it up there. Yep. Awesome. All right. Number 8. Solomon began to make bondmen, which are slaves of the children of Israel. True or false? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What we got? Who got true? Who got false? False is the answer. All right, that might be the guy. Boy, y'all wait till y'all get to number 8. Everybody was winning to 8. I'm sorry. I got to have fun. I love y'all. The answer to number 8 is false. And I will read that. That's coming out of chapter 9, verse 22. But Solomon did not conscript any of the Israelites for forced labor. Instead, he assigned them to serve as fighting men, government officials, officers, and captains in his army, commanders of his chariots and charioteers. So that's in verse 22. All right, number 9. The queen of Sheba came to test Solomon with hard questions. True or false? True. Yep. She wanted to check him. She didn't want to believe what everybody was saying, so she had to see it for herself. And that's coming out of chapter 10, verse 1. And number 10, King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and wisdom. True or false? True. All right. So hopefully you guys pass the papers back to each other. I think it was pretty good, all things considering. We didn't have to do measurements. All right, so drum roll. How many people got 100? All right, okay. I don't have pastor's list, but I'll make sure he get it. All right, so that's Brother Murphy. Who else? All right, Miss Lisa. Okay. Minister Lisa. All right, anybody else on this side? All right, what about over here? How many people got okay, Brother Roberts, that's what I'm talking about. Who else over here? Miss Regina. That's kind of like Reggie, but with an N in there somewhere. Okay. Sister Regina. Not yet. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? All right, so we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did we get anybody on Facebook with 100 upstairs? Anybody? All right. How many people missed one? Okay, so all right. Well, I got to ask the question because Pastor asked it. What was the question that you missed? Number two. Everybody missed number 2. You missed number 2? Oh, that went your curve. And Pastor would say, you blame Alex, because y'all would have had it. All right. Number 2, what was number 2? Number 2 was what? Oh, yeah, that was kind of like a trick question. Yeah, because it was 4 years after he started. Yeah, so, oh, man. I think he know what he be doing when he be writing these tests. Well, he said he didn't get number 2 wrong. Which one you got wrong, sir? Number 8. Everybody that missed one that got only had one that they missed and missed number 2 was 3, 4 y'all? 5. Oh Lord. All right. How many people missed 2? All right, okay. So you 2, all right. So you said you missed question number 8. Anybody else miss number 8? Okay, what's number 8? Let's see what number 8 says. You missed number 8 too? Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. It's right there in the Bible. I can't go against his word. I like it, but I can't do it. Hey. Talk to Pastor about it. All right, how many? 3? I think we stop at 3, right? How many people missed 3? Okay. All right, so like Pastor always say, if you read, you are a winner. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Does anybody want to talk about what they read? Anybody got anything on their mind that they wish to discuss? Yes, sir. Yes, number 10. Yes, sir. King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and wisdom. Yes, sir. What about it?
Not just exceeded. He come like abundance.
Yeah.
They brought gold and just stuff from everywhere.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And basically the reason that jumped out to me was if you just do what God says do,
Yeah.
He will bless you exceedingly.
Yeah.
Abundantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Always, you hear the parable, they say, you can give a man a fish or you can teach him how to fish. If you teach him how to fish, he'll always be able to eat, so which is the wisdom. So God gave him the wisdom so he could always be able to be successful. Versus if I just hand you some money and I don't tell you what to do with it or how to spend it or how to use it, then once that money's gone, you back to square one. So knowledge is always better than money, So once you get the knowledge, you can't lose that. You can give me $100 and I can walk out here and lose it between now and the parking lot. But if you teach me how to make $100, I will always have that with me. I can't lose that. So you always, like you said, with the wisdom. Once he wanted wisdom. Because I think he was wise enough, at least he was a little bit wise enough to know if I get this wisdom, then everything else going to come with it. Pastor said you can't have the water without the wet. So if I get the wisdom, I'm going to be prosperous. I'm going to be successful. So that's why we always, as parents, always try to, teach our kids to be wise, and learn from our mistakes. If I bump my head, you shouldn't bump your head in the same spot. That's it. That's right. She sure did. Yep. She was a hater at first, though. Why she had to come? Why she couldn't just take her people? Yeah. 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 Sometimes I got to see it. She was from Missouri. She was Show Me State. Yes, sir. What?
She left with wisdom, though.
Yes, sir.
Every question she asked, he had an answer for.
Yep. That's amazing.
Yeah, and he exceeded her expectations. She had heard, but she didn't know he was as brilliant as he really was. She sat and shot all them questions to him.
Yep. Awesome. Yep. Anybody else that got anything they want to add? Yes, sir. You got it.
Hey, so I see how it makes number 8. You mind reading chapter 9, verse 20?
Chapter 9, verse 20. All right, let me pull it up.
This brother right here, all this fish.
Let me find it. Hold on. Let me find it. Chapter 9, verse 20. You start at 19? Start at 20? It says, there were still some people living in the land who were not Israelites, including Amorites, Hittites, Pezerites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Jebusites, thank you, ma'am. These were the descendants of the nations of whom the people of Israel had not completely destroyed. So Solomon conscripted them as slaves, and they served and forced laborers to this day. And then so verse 22, it kind of explains, yeah, I'm sorry, sir. Yes. Yeah, that's how he, right. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm sorry. Anybody else? Anybody else got beef with Pastor's test? I'm gonna make it personal. Anybody got problems with Pastor's test? Speak now. Because that's the word. That's what the words say. That's what So, does anybody got it? Yes, ma'am.
I don't have a problem with the test. The test was great. I did want to, what stood out, there was a lot that stood out in this chapter for me. And in 1 Kings 6, verses 11 through 13, where he was speaking of the promises, to Solomon. 1 Kings chapter 6, verses 11 through 13. God's promises to Solomon. That really stood out to me, and it was saying, if you keep my decree and regulations and obey my commandments, I keep the promise that I made through your father David. And so that, from the beginning, Solomon, he kept those promises, and he did just what God asked him to do. And as the last verse has said, and God answered, even though Solomon didn't ask for wisdom,
Right.
he asked for wisdom, he didn't ask for riches.
Right.
And God honored that.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Like my husband was saying, that just kind of blew our mind how God honored it. He didn't have to ask for anything.
Right. Yeah.
God, people were just bringing in gold to him,
Yeah.
constantly bringing in gold.
Yes, ma'am. Spoiler alert, that temple got destroyed.
Yeah.
so as we continue on reading down further in the Bible, you will realize that it got destroyed. And I bring that up to say this. This is my little mini message in that, is that I'll use me for an example. I could come up here and I could have a clean suit on, shoes nice, haircut. I could speak well as far as how I pronounce or pronunciate my words. But if I'm not coming from the heart, if my heart's not in it, then it's all null and void. So they built this extravagant, Solomon had this extravagant no, how they say, no expense spared temple. And if you read, like Minister Murphy was saying, all they had to do was keep the commandments, follow the commandments. He reiterated that in chapter 9. And because they did not, and God don't go back on his word, so that temple had to be destroyed. Because what's the use of having all of this stuff that's nice if your heart's not pure, if your heart's not. So, and on the flip side of that, we should not be just so quick to judge somebody because of their outward appearance. But we need to look at their heart. We need to look at how they treat you. You know what I'm saying? They may not have the best clothes, or they may not come from the finest family or whatever, but they got a pure heart. They're kind to you. They're loving. They're caring. And so that's what God looks at. God looking at the inside. So not the outside. The outside was the temple and all the gold and the brass and all of that good stuff. And he was pleased at first, because if you read in there, the priests couldn't finish their job because of the glory that was inside of that temple. And so, it's there at first. We could, and that's just a testament. We could start off good, but we got to keep running the race. You know what I'm saying? We can't fall off. We can't give up the fight. We can't think we are arrived where I'm good now, so I can take my foot off the gas. While you taking your foot off the gas, the devil putting his foot on the brake, and and that just means because you off the gas and he on the brake, that means you coming to a stop quicker. And so we got to make sure that we are constantly striving to do better, to be better. You know what I'm saying? If we got it right in one area of our life, we need to start focusing on somewhere else where we may be missing it. And don't beat yourself up if we don't get it right the first time or the second or the third, but as long as we're working on it. And so I think that's what happened. They got away from what they came from. And there ain't nothing new under the sun. If we're, truth be told, when we're struggling, man, we love God. We one-on-one with him. Oh, that's my dog, man. Lord, please get me out of this. Or whatever the case may be. Once we get out of our situation or our jam, or we got a little bit of change in our pocket, we start not putting that Bible down, or we start missing a few Sundays or whatever the case may be, and now we start drifting away. So we have to be, like they say, anchored. Anybody that been on the boat, I'm sure you drop that anchor, you ain't going nowhere. Yes, sir.
Good example of that is prison. A lot of guys go to prison, first thing they do is get religion.
Yep.
As soon as they come out, boom.
Yep. So, and that's the thing. But you know what? I think it's Psalms 119, verse 73. It says, "It is good that I've been afflicted, that I may know the error of my ways." So sometimes going to prison, although it's bad, you ain't lost your life yet. So you got a chance to get it back right with God. You may, something bad may happen to you. But as long as you got breath in your body. And I say this because, I got a child. I always say, Lord, keep him. Keep him in his foolishness. Keep him protected in his foolishness. Not that he may be doing foolishness, but I don't know what he's doing. But if it ain't of God, it's foolishness. And so when you're not doing stuff that's in line with God, then, anything can happen to you. So you want to make sure, at least for me, my prayer with not just my child, but everybody's kids is that, if they bump their head, don't let that bump kill them. You know what I'm saying? Let that bump knock some sense into them. So they can get it right. And that's all it's about. I just say, if you ain't going to listen to me, you're going to listen to somebody. And if you don't listen to somebody, life gonna get you. And so, and that's okay if it gets you to the point where it drives you back into a relationship with God. So I say all that to say, yeah, that temple was nice and fancy, but it don't mean nothing if your heart ain't in it. So it don't, the lip service or whatever we do, we need to make sure we're doing it from a pure heart and a righteous mind. And and if we ain't doing that, it's fool's gold. It's fake. And at some point, it's gonna be revealed. At some point. So yes, ma'am.
Since you gave that spoiler alert, Solomon also, he wasn't 100% in, because he married Pharaoh's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't supposed to marry her.
Right.
And stuff. So, but God honored that still. You know, he didn't say anything at the beginning. Well, I guess, I don't know. I can't say God honored it. But God still, when he dedicated the temple, that powerful prayer, like you said, and then the glory of the Lord came in. It was just down the road. He wasn't 100% in. He kind of halfway in, you know, lukewarm.
Right.
And that's why we got to be careful who we marry, unequally yoked. We can't be careful who we marry, and still we got to continue to pray for our spouses.
Yep. And the other thing with that too, the company we keep, those are spirits. You know, so those spirits could jump off on you. You know, hopefully your spirit jumping on somebody and jumping on the devil and beating them up, versus the devil jumping on us and beating us up. So you just gotta gotta talk to us and to let us know. Yeah, you might not want to hang around. I had a friend that I hung around for about 20 years, and once I started, coming to church, get my life together, God said, you can't even hang around. You can't afford to hang around this guy, because you're not strong enough. He got 20 years doing his dirt. You just a baby Christian. And you get over there, you start, one thing leads to another, and you back where you came from. So sometimes you got to cut people off. I mean, you can be nice about it, but at the end of the day, I'll say this, you got to do what's best for you. You got to be selfish. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the only one that's going to be up there answering to God. Not you and your friend or you and your homegirl or your homeboy. It's personal. So I can't afford to let anybody take me somewhere that I don't want to go. So just keep that in mind. If it's something that, you know what I'm saying, man, but that's my dog, that's my girl and all that. Is your girl going to be with you? Is she going to be your girl in hell? You know what I mean? That's going to be your dog. He going to be riding with you when y'all burning up. So you just got to make sure if you're going to do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because your friend's doing it. So do it if, you know what I'm saying, well, I deserve this because I wanted to do it, not because I was just hanging out with my friends. So that's all I got. Hopefully I ain't take up too much of y'all time. Anybody got anything else they want to add before we shut it down? Yes, ma'am. Miss Sherry?
I was just thinking about, excuse me, in chapter 10, verse 14, it was talking about Solomon's gold. So we read verse 14. It says, now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 600 6 talents of gold. So a different Bible that I read that in said that was 666 talents of gold. So I was just thinking about that number, the 666, and I thought about it being the devil's number. And you know how people can get so hung up on the material things of life that they kind of leave God out. And I was thinking about the California gold rush when we were in school. They taught us about a lot of people going to California trying to dig for gold. And the things that's valuable and precious to man that's in the earth, like the gold, you got to dig deep into the earth to get the gold. You got to dig deep inside the mountain to get the silver. And the oysters, you got to dig deep into the ocean to get the pearls out of the water. And and you think about God, and the thing people a lot of times fail to realize about God, in order to get closer to Him and to get the power of His Holy Spirit, even though it's already there, we have to spend time with Him. And the time that people spend trying to dig gold and silver and for pearls, they don't want to take that precious time to understand who God is, which is the power of His Holy Spirit through us.
Amen. 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 Yes, ma'am. Anybody got anything else to add?
Oh, one other thing.
Yes, ma'am.
About what Mr. Jenkins was saying about prison. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people do go to prison, and they get that so-called religious when they're in there, and then when they get out, they forget all about it. But it was just something that stood out to me before I retired. The building that they would put me to work in, they had this little room, what they call a TV room. It would, every morning early, it got my attention. It was these, I think like 4 or 5 guys that they were coming there in the morning time before, everything got started, before we start counting them and everything. and they would get together and they would get in that room and I would watch them. They would come in there and pray, and I thought that was so unique, you know, out of all those people in there, and just that particular building when I worked it, that they would do that every morning. I worked in there, and I thought that was awesome.
What the devil meant for, evil, God turned it around for good.
Yeah, so prison does change some people's lives.
It'll change you if you want to be changed. Just like you ain't got to go to prison. A situation can happen to you. If you want to change, you'll change. I got a statement I always say, and I stand on it. People do what they want to do. If you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't want to do it, you won't do it. So it's really on us as individuals how far we go or how far we don't go. So it's on us, because I can do all things through Christ. So if I ain't doing it, then it's because I ain't want to do it. So that's all. Anybody got anything else? Yes, ma'am, Miss Bridget.
I thought it was awesome, God's attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
The details that he gave David to build the temple. And it also took me back to Noah, when Noah built the ark, and the specific details he gave. And even the scripture that talks about God numbering the hairs on our head, how specific God is. It is just so awesome to us. I know I don't think about it all the time. How detailed God is. You know, me going through life, some things are really insignificant and I just, whatever, but that's not God. God pays attention to detail.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
just thought that was awesome.
It is. I know about 10 years ago, I could count the grays. I can't count them no more. But God know how many gray hairs I got. Yes, ma'am.
And just to add on to what Ms. Bridget said, I also found it interesting that God chose Solomon to build a temple. Solomon's disposition was that of attention to detail. Solomon was a lover, we know that Solomon, we have the Songs of Solomon, like that's who he was. He paid attention to things. David was a fighter. David wasn't going to pay the type of attention to building a temple that Solomon did. So I found that interesting as well.
Yeah.
That our person, they say we all have certain gifts that God gives to us.
Right.
That are manifested and produce certain results, right, based on what God has given us. So I just found it interesting that Solomon's attitude, his disposition, his heart posture was that of love and attention to detail. He wrote love letters, Solomon had all the women, because he knew what to say and he knew what to do, versus David being the fighter.
Solomon had wisdom.
He
knew not what to say.
That too. Well, yeah, that first. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Awesome. All right. Anybody else? Before we're about 11 minutes after 8. So if anybody don't have anything else, yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm coming. To my Facebook family, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the works of the Lord. For as much as you know, your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So we thank y'all for joining us, and we will see y'all next week. For my